Hunter will plead guilty to a tax-related misdemeanor, 2 of those in a plea agreement, no jail time, 2 years of probation. And then he is going to have that gun charge because he was using drugs, and that's illegal. That could carry 10 years in jail and a fine of $250,000. That is being diverted. So that means he will actually, if he completes his probation and the diversion, whatever treatment that requires, he will never actually be charged with that crime. That would be removed from his record.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
He got away with it. And you look at Allen Weisselberg, who was the CFO for the Trump organization, who never had any criminal exposure in his life. And then the New York DA goes after him, trying to press him to flip against the former president. And what happens there? He ends up in Rikers Island.
Do you need any more confirmation that there's 2 systems of justice in the United States of America, one for Washington, D.C. elites and one for all of us?
Allen Weisselberg, President Trump's old CFO at the Trump organization, was sent to Rikers Island, 75-year-old grandfather, for like 5 months because he didn't report taxes on a company car, and Trump gave free tuition to his kids to go to college, and he didn't report that as income. That kind of stuff. And he was sent to Rikers Island, which is a terrible place here in New York City. And the amount of incredible punitive response toward one side, but then the other side always seems to have one, escape after another.
It is a 2-tiered system of justice.
The difference in treatment is right in front of our eyes today. Did you really expect Hunter Biden to get in real trouble? I don't think anybody did. I think most of our listeners probably didn't think he would ever actually get into real trouble. Then they learned about that Burisma payment, thought, okay, maybe there's something there because it's more serious and that involves the big guy, so that it would be a more serious investigation. Now, David Weiss is not done. He's not stepping down as U.S. attorney. He's not closing out the Hunter Biden investigation. It continues. So maybe this was brought because of statute of limitations.
I think the headline here is that Merrick Garland is afraid of Joe Biden. Clearly, Joe Biden controls the Department of Justice. You cannot come up with any other reason why there's a slap on the wrist, why it's a sweetheart deal for Hunter Biden after years and years of investigations and allegations and refusals to actually investigate. I think the mounting evidence, photographic evidence that Hunter Biden was guilty here really forced the hand of the DOJ. They would not be doing this if we didn't have photographic evidence and the hypocrisy being presented in our face every single day. And they live in a bubble in Washington, D.C., and DOJ somehow thinks that by doing this, it's going to help their case against Donald Trump to pretend like it's not a 2-tiered system.
We are looking like Venezuela. That our political opponents go to jail, but if you're the president's son, Joe Biden's son, you get 2 misdemeanors, a slap on the wrist, and a diversion on a felony gun count. And of course the Department of Justice is saying we're not going to comment about it. And this was a U.S. attorney that was appointed by President Trump. But who knows what? I don't know what the pressures were or were not. I just know this. Allen Weisselberg spent months in a real bad prison for taking a free company car and tuition for his grandkids, which I don't know how that wasn't legal, but I don't know the individual facts of that because there's tax provisions of the Internal Revenue Code that allow that. But nevertheless, that's the 2-tiered system of justice. But you better be prepared to fight back. And fight back in a big way, because if you don't fight back in a big way, you know what ends up happening? Let me be clear. It doesn't end well.
The only hope is it's not done because there's more serious, complicated charges being looked at. But honestly, I'm not going to keep too much faith in these investigations. I think we need to realize
this is what it is.
The justice system is not in a good place right now. It is not a fair system. It does treat Washington elites differently. That's the system we live under now, and it's why we want to elect officials who will get reform done.